Over time, the condition worsened, and the contamination seeped into the fabric of many buildings. Some individual houses and apartments were more susceptible to the disease than others. Repeated attempts were made to cleanse and decontaminate these dwellings. The buildings had to be abandoned. These buildings were securely sealed, and any unauthorized entry was strictly forbidden. No reliable evidence was established that could connect these extreme outbreaks other than the identity of the occupant. X was the occupant of one such building. He had lived there for many years before the contamination became a problem. His case was one of the first that was investigated, and it was in the course of these investigations that the primary connections were established. X recounted to the investigators as much as he could remember about his life. At times, his view of the past consisted of little more than shadowy fragments that rose fleetingly to the surface, only to be enveloped again in a fog that seemed to shroud him for days on end. He had grown up in a small town, and like many of the townsfolk, he had been employed as an operative in one of the new detention centers. At first, he performed many menial tasks, but as the numbers of detainees increased, he was promoted to the position of guard. One of his tasks involved the regular cleaning of the closed unit, where many of the detainees were processed. The nature of the work conducted in this unit was highly sensitive, and only a select group of guards and officers knew of its existence. Their instructions were that all signs of the presence of the detainees were to be eradicated. X was involved in the initial and messiest process in the deep cleansing of the unit. His task was to ensure that any human bodily secretions and emissions were washed off the concrete walls and floor of the unit. He hosed and scrubbed the entire unit and ensured that all wastewater was flushed down a metal drain in the center of the floor to a secure disposal tank.